All right, guys. Now listen, today is going to be a great day. So we are going to do reflections, okay? So we have coordinate planes, we're going to have dots, shapes, whatever, and we're going to be reflecting them across. There's 4 different things you can do. We got x-axis, y-axis, y equals negative x, and y equals x. Now, how we're going to do this is this. For the first 2, for x-axis and y-axis, right? For this whole A and B thing, we are not going to follow any rules. We are just going to use this little thing called logic. Logical thinking, guys. So that's all we're going to do. For x and y-axis, if we ever reflect across one of those 2, x-axis or y-axis, we use some logical thinking. You know, what you do? We're into examples because that'll help a little bit. So logical thinking. For reflection, over negative x. If you have a point AB, okay, what you're going to do is you're going to convert it. You're going to switch the spots. So y will go first, x will go second, and you're going to take the opposite sign. Okay? And then for y equals x, you're going to just take whatever point you get, x, y, and you're going to flip it. Don't change any signs, just flip it, and that is it. So for x and y-axis, logical thinking. For y equals negative x and y equals x, you're going to just flip and switch the signs, flip, done. Now, it makes no sense to you guys right now, so let's just do some examples, and this will be your most helpful. For x-axis, right? So what we're gonna do, highly recommend, we're going to take another color, or take your pen or pencil, and we're gonna highlight the x-axis. Now what we're gonna do, okay, now we can put our little image points. So we got A, we got E, and we got R. A is gonna be 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2 is negative 4, 4. E is negative 1, 1. And R is 1, 2, 3, negative 4, 1. That's just some formalities, right? So let's just our image right there. Our pre-image, I'm sorry. Now, when we flip it across the x-axis, to get our new A prime, our B prime, and our R prime, we're not gonna follow any formula. We're gonna do logical thinking. For instance, we can do any point we want, and we're just gonna do the opposite from this line. So E is 1 above this line, so E prime is gonna be 1 below this line. And that makes sense because if you look at this, right? Look at a mirror, it's kind of just reflect. If I were to fold this piece of paper like on this pink line, it would just be right down there. Just like R is 1 up, so I go 1 down. That's R prime. A is 1, 2, 3, 4 up, so I'm gonna go 1, 2, 3, 4 down, and that will be A prime. If I connect these dots, holy moly guacachole, look at that. That's a perfect reflection amongst that x-axis. I can write my, my little points. A will be 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's gonna be negative 4, negative 4. E is negative 1, negative 1. And R is going to be negative 4, negative 1. I'm sorry for that bad hand around it, guys. My apologies. But that's it. So what I want you guys to do now is try this one. It's a little harder. I want you guys to try it. Highlight your x-axis, and whatever the point is, if it's up, you go down. If it's down, you go up. I don't care. Just do the opposite, all right? Just try it out. This one's going to be a little weird, but try it. Go. All right, guys, so here's what we got ahead. Here are my points, right? My pre-image and my image. I got my, my nice little triangle. Again, this one looks a little bit weird because the line of reflection is going through the object. That's okay. M was 1 up, so M prime was 1 down. J was 1 down, I went 1 up. K was 1 up, I went 1 down. Just doing that. Now, it's kind of hard to see, but you can trust me. This triangle, this new prime, this image right here, this is perfectly reflected around that line of reflection. It's a little bit onto itself, but that's okay, right? It's easier to see when they're kind of further apart and they're not going through the line of reflection, but that is correct. And those are all my coordinate points. And that's it, guys. That's what happens when you go through the x-axis. Now let's try the y-axis, okay? Now I'll tell you what, I'm gonna do this one, and then you guys will do that one. So watch this. So I got my image points. I got M, I got K, and I got J. Now notice, this is the same exact image over here. There we go. Now, this time, we're using the y-axis. We're not using the x-axis, we're using the y-axis, so I highly recommend reflecting across the y. Highlight the y, darken in the y. And we're gonna do the opposite. So going up and down, we're gonna talk left and right. So for instance, I got J right here. J is 1 to the right, so J prime will be 1 to the left. M is 1, 2, 3 left, so 1, 2, oh, look at this. This will be my M prime, and K is 1, 2, 3 right, so it's going to be 3 left. So it's like M and K are like switching spots here. So there we go. Now, let me connect these dots. Boop. 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 Now, it's hard to see. Let me get my image points before I talk too much more. But just know that when you guys have the line of reflection going through your image, the triangle, quadrilateral, whatever, it is gonna be a little weird, okay? So it is gonna be a little strange, but that's okay. It happens. And J is gonna be -1, -1. So there it is, right? It's kind of hard to see it, but it did reflect across that Y. It's a little hard when the image is going, the line of reflection is going through the image, but that is correct. Now, you guys are trying a little more easy and visually appealing. So I want you guys to try this one, right? So give me your pre-image points, reflected across the Y, not the X, the Y. Have some fun. Go. Okay, so check your work. I have my triangle ARE. I'm reflecting across the Y. Notice if my A was 1, 2, 3, 4 left, I'm gonna go 4 right. If my E is 1 left, I go 1 right. If my R is 1, 2, 3, 4 left, I go 1, 2, 3, 4 right. This triangle is now perfectly reflected, flipped over the Y-axis. And again, those are all my image points, our pre-image points, and then my image points, and we're done. That is it, guys. It's that simple. Okay? Now, let's do the last 2 sections. Y equals -x. Again, remember we have flip our coordinates and take the opposite signs. So here we go. For ARE, okay? Now remember, Y equals -x. If we're gonna highlight this line, that's gonna be this line right here, okay? So it's on a slant. In this case, a downward slant. And that's why it's a little bit hard to use logic, especially for some of the, when you flip things around an angle, it gets a little messy. So let's just do this. We're just going to flip the X and Y's and then take the opposite signs. So watch this for A prime. And I'm just following the formula, guys. In this case, we're not gonna use logic. We're not gonna try to flip it, just eyeballing it, because you will make mistakes. We're gonna use logic. So I got -4 and 4, right? I'm gonna switch these and take the opposite sign. So this -4 now goes to the back and it becomes +4. This +4 goes to the front and becomes -4. R, -4 goes to the back, becomes positive. 1 goes to the front, becomes negative. E, 1 goes to the back, becomes positive. This one goes to the front, becomes negative. And again, I'm just taking the opposite signs of what they are originally and just changing it up. Now I can plot these points and we should be good to go. And look at that. It now perfectly reflected across my Y-axis. And again, when points are on the line of reflection, they don't move at all. So it's kind of easy. And there we go, guys. Now I want you guys to try this one. So you guys are going to do this one. Follow the rule and you're going to switch it all up. Go. All right, guys, let's check our work. Now, it does look weird on the graph because, again, the line of reflection is going through my object. But again, when you follow this quick rule, it's actually not that bad. So I have all my points, right? M, J, and K. I switched them and took the opposite sign. So 3 went to the back and became positive. 1 went to the front, became negative. This one went to the back, became negative. This one went to the front, became positive. Went to the back, became negative. Went to the back, became negative. I just took the opposite signs and switched the locations. I graphed them, and that is it. That is what you are doing, guys. Okay? And now for the last and final one. We got reflection over Y equals K. Well, Y equals K is a line that goes up like this on an angle, which makes it hard to do by logic. And again, we just flip the order and then graph. So watch this. For this one right here, ARE. Actually, you know what? I'll do this one this time and you guys do ARE. It doesn't matter. So M, K, and J. Same points as before. What I'm going to do is I'm going to switch the order of the coordinate points, and that's it. Call it a day. So watch this. For M prime, -3 goes to the back, 1 goes to the front. I'm sorry, guys. My paper's going everywhere here. For K, this 3 goes to the back, that 1 goes to the front. I'm not switching any signs. This one goes to the back, that one goes to the front, not switching any signs. I am now done. I can plot these points and I'm finito. Again, it may not look like it to you guys, but this is a perfectly flipped line or triangle over this y equals x. And all I did is just followed my rule. This one's gonna be way more appealing visually. So again, remember, this is the line we're going over. I would not do it logically, I'd follow your rule. So I want you guys to try this one on your own. Get your image points, flip it, graph it, that's it. Go for it. Okay guys, let's check this last one. So here we go, I got all my points, A, R, and E. I flipped them, so if the X goes to the back, Y goes to the front, I do not change any signs. And I did that for A, R, and E. So here's my new A prime, R prime, and E prime. I now graphed them. So here we go, look at this. I graph all three of them, make my triangle, and this one is kind of obvious. So I have my line of reflection right here. This looks like it was flipped just like that, perfectly. Nice, visually appealing, and there we go. So that is it, guys. It was a lot of stuff we covered right now, but just know, for y equals negative x and y equals x, use the formula. For x and y axis, use your logic, highlight your lines of reflection, rewatch this video if you need to. Have a great, safe, wonderful day. Take care, guys.